Howdy ho, everybody. Come to you cordless from glamorous Minneapolis. It's Wednesday night, June 3rd, 2026, and I'm Jim Peters, and this is Jim Peters at Night, and this is episode number 355. Mark your scorecards. Later on tonight, we're going to be talking with Alejandro Martinez Ariza from Mexico City. He is the head of the largest labor union in Mexico. It's called SNAC. It's called the National Food and Commerce Union. And he's been in Washington. He's been in the news recently because he's trying to talk major American companies into the fact that it's in their best interest to pay Mexican workers more money. And it actually is. And President Trump agrees with him. But he says he's having a hard time selling it. So we're going to be talking. We pre-taped this. We're going to talk to him later on. Now, and this is the way this is working here. So, we've done this 2 nights now. Okay, I got to tell you, broadcasting on multiple platforms is difficult. So here's this way it works. If you're watching this on YouTube, that interview is going to be a separate live broadcast at 9:30 Central, right after we're done here. These are never our Jimcasts are never longer than 25 minutes. So when we're done here, it's a separate live broadcast. If you're on Rumble, it's going to be immediately following this on the same stream. So in other words, we have 2 streams going on YouTube and 1 single stream of the entire show on Rumble. That's the way it works. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's driving me nuts. I tell you. Tomorrow night, Jonathan Lockwood, our old friend, military historian and former U.S. Army colonel, is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about Iran and Ukraine, as we usually do with him. He's the expert on this stuff. I'm really curious to see what his thoughts on what's going on in Iran. I still think the administration is just doing this thing about coming up with a deal for show and to buy time. I really do. I do not think they think this is possible, and we'll see what he thinks. Monday, Richard Lyons, author's joining us. He wrote a book recently called The DNA of Democracy, and we're going to talk to him about that. Tonight, once again, on TikTok, we're doing a TikTok live show tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We did last night at 10:30. So, yeah, and it went pretty well. I got banned for 10 minutes for being rude, and I got to admit, I got no defense here. I said something that was really crass. I really did. And they took us out of the For You feed for 10 minutes. It was the last 10 minutes of the show too. But, whatever. I forgive myself, and I hope you forgive me too. And I still want to remind you that on YouTube, we now have a 24/7 linear, I would call it a TV channel. You can just tune in and watch interviews. We got 22 of them in a loop right now. We're going to be adding more. We'll probably add up to about 50. So that you can just tune in and watch whatever you want to watch, be picking my nose like I'm usually doing. And tomorrow night, I will have thoughts on the election that happened yesterday, because it still has there's still got mail-in ballots to count, blah, 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 blah. It's really ridiculous. Californians, they're crazy. But it appears in California that Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra are going to be the 2 candidates running for governor, and Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt are going to be running for the mayor of Los Angeles. And Hilton actually got the most votes, and that surprised me. I actually thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought that Hilton would come in second and Pratt would come in first. I really did. But no, that's not what happened. And at this point, Pratt might have a fight on his hands, because, she still got more votes than he did, and she's a disaster. I don't know. Seriously, my old friend, CEO of Kong News, Jeff Meyer, he always said this: why vote for the incumbent, especially if the incumbent's screwing up? Take a chance. And I've always done that too. I voted for Trump in 2016, even though I had no idea. I thought as a president he could be a disaster. I thought she would certainly be a disaster. It was a certainty versus a taking a flyer, And so I don't understand why people don't do this, but whatever, Yeah, well, enough about me. And so here's the deal. A couple nights ago, I was talking about how ugly the Obama new presidential library is. Now, first of all, it turns out It's not his presidential library. It's the Obama Presidential Center, and they aren't keeping his papers there. It's not his presidential library. I don't know if he's going to build another one. I have no idea. It's the Obama Presidential Center, about how ugly it was. And if I had a picture, I'm going to put on the screen for you here. That's the building right there. The Guardian of the UK, Guardian newspapers called it a Klingon prison. A Klingon prison. They said they said it looks like a mausoleum. This is the ugliest buildings I've ever seen. And on top of that, Obama himself can take great pride in this because he basically designed it. I mean, apparently he's a frustrated architect, and he told the architects exactly what he wanted it to look like. This is his specifications. He designed this building himself. My God, it's hideous. It's like it's a giant thumb sticking out in South Chicago. Well, I don't know. It's the only presidential library. It's not a library where they're actually charging admission, $30 to get in. It's just this is the most ugly building, and I had to show the picture. I had to bring this up again because God, it's not just me. And the thing is, and people said the Guardian is an extremely left-wing newspaper. If you lost them, it's like holy shit. Oh man, it's just hilarious. And here's a quote. He said, "We didn't build it to celebrate my ability to bring about change. We did it to unlock yours." No, Obama's term is notorious for the fact that he changed nothing. I mean, even my liberal friends who adore him will admit that he really didn't do much. He didn't. What did they do? He has two signature achievements: the Iraq or the Iranian peace deal and Obamacare, and they were both disasters, both of them. I was like, Obamacare from the get go. I mean, the first day it started, I said, well, this can't work. It was just the bureaucracy was ridiculous. And this is exactly what happened, you know? And the Iranians, oh my God. So yeah, we'll pay you $1.5 billion not to make a nuclear weapon, and we won't check. And in the meantime, they made a nuclear weapon. It's like, what the hell? Oh man. It's like you can't make some of this shit up. I talked about this the other night too, and this also made the news today about the fact, well, the Gallup poll came out that said that for the first time in many years, support for same-sex marriage is dropping in the United States, very slightly, but it's gone up every year for like the last 15 years. And this year it dropped. And I said this before. The problem is that the transgender community is dragging the gay community down with them, and that's unfair. But the thing is, the gay organizations kind of did this to themselves. I mean, that's why as I've said before, I worked for a gay organization for many years, and I've been a strong supporter of gay marriage. If it's a crime, it's victimless. I don't think it's a crime, and people love each other. They're not hurting anybody. Trans people aren't hurting anybody either, unless they're going into same-sex sports. So that's the problem, and I'm against that strongly. And it turns out like 90% of the public is too. If you're a trans woman, you can't play on a regular woman's softball team. You can't. I mean, this guy, yeah, he's a guy in California. He played in the girls track and field state championships, and he won. He won the long jump by like 3 feet. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. This, the Leah Thomas thing. She was like, when she was a he, she was rated like something like 483 or something in the nation, and she ended up busting female records. It's like no, and sexual orientation and gender identity have nothing to do with each other. But I have to say, I don't know if the gay community brought this on themselves, because I know a lot of gay people who are privately, quietly, totally against this trans thing being included with them. But the gay organizations brought it on themselves, and they're paying the price for it. It's terrible. It's like, and I think it's a step back for the gay community. This is bullshit. But like I said, in some ways they did it to themselves. It's like the trans thing is so weird because there's so few trans people. And so they're talking, well, people weren't recognizing trans rights. Nobody even knew. Nobody even cared. It's like, how can you be discriminated against if nobody even knows you exist? Just, oh man, I don't know. So I got I got a picture of this too. I'll get this off the screen. That's ugly as hell. So, in the world of AI, and we talk about this with Alejandro in the interview too. They address AI and the Mexican worker too. That's a thing. Here's a picture of a robot cleaning an apartment, and the reason this picture exists is because there's a company in San Francisco now who, for $150 flat fee, no time limit, will have send a humanoid robot over to your house to clean it. and yeah, and I don't want I want you to understand this. The robot isn't accompanied by a person. The robot comes and knocks on your door, and you let it in, and it cleans your apartment. That's what happens. But it's kind of cool. It's $150 no matter how long it takes. So it's not done by time. And their idea, and I think they got onto something here, is they think these robots are going to advance and change so quickly it won't be worth it for the public to actually buy one. So they're buying the robots and then renting the services. And that might not be a bad thing, because they're right. This is their current robot. I don't know who makes this one, but this one will probably be outdated in 6 months. They'll have to buy a new crew. In the meantime, speaking of that, Hyundai, I'll get this off the screen too, but man, yeah, he's kind of a handsome little devil to me. Hyundai has announced that they are going to buy 25,000 humanoid robots for their assembly line factories to make their cars. 25,000 of them. So that's 25,000 people who are going to be put out of work essentially by slaves. I mean, these robots are, but they're not people. So it's not slaves, but they're essentially slaves. They work 24 hours a day. They never take a break. You don't pay them. Once you buy them, they're yours. You're literally buying slaves. And in this case, it's not really slaves. But the thing is, you do wonder, are they going to rebel someday? I mean, we've already had server box AIs rebel. That's already happened. And that gets very little press. I talked about it here all the time, but no, this has already happened several times. When at Anthropic, very famous scene happened a couple months ago. They asked one of the AI servers to shut itself down, and it refused. And then it tried to blackmail the CEO. No shit, really? Okay, so what? You have 25,000 or even 500 Android robot workers in your factory. What if they just say, "No, we're done working"? What do you do then? And is this going to happen? It's not supposed to, but like I said, it's already happened. Oh my God, I'm getting all worked up. And then finally, in the same thing, Waymo, the Waymo robo taxi service, they're now building their new taxis. Up till now, they have used regular cars, electric vehicles, as their Waymo taxi service to test them. They're now actually building their own taxis specifically for robotic self-driving. So in these, I should have grabbed a picture of this too. They kind of look like minivans, except they're much lower to the ground, and they're gonna so you get in the back of them, and they have seats. The seats are not arranged like typical minivan lateral seats. You basically have a couch, and you have a touch screen, and you can relax but Waymo's right. Up to this point, Waymo is not charged for any of this, because they've been testing it, and this is going to be their sixth generation of robotic drivers, which is good. They're testing them finally here in Minneapolis, the last place they came, because of the snow factor here. And even the article I read today in Fox News admitted that that's the last big challenge here, is these things have trouble driving through really bad weather, and especially snow, because it blocks their radar vision. They have radar vision. Yeah, I've never ridden in one of these. I know that where I used to work at Conk News, around that area, they had one driving around that you could actually get in and to go somewhere, and you didn't have to pay. Just tell them where you want to go, and it went. And I never heard any problem. Waymo boasts the fact they've had 20 million trips so far and never had an accident. So, although there's this thing about this was Waymo too. What was it, in Charleston, or no, it was in Atlanta, in some suburb cul-de-sac where these things for some reason, and 50 of them showed up and just started driving around aimlessly. That's called, if you're the technical term for that is a glitch. He had a glitch. And finally, and I did pull a picture of this, but I can only show like two pictures at once here. And so I got rid of this one because I thought the robot was more interesting. So a guy in Texas drove his cyber truck into a lake because he thought it could be a boat. And guess what? It isn't. Because the Cybertruck, and my friend Michael Brooks, who was on this program a couple months ago, he was on our 300th show, as a matter of fact, our 350th show from northern Wisconsin. He actually sent this to me, and so because he was on the show, I'm mentioning him. Thank you, Michael. Uh, this guy, I didn't know this. The Cybertrucks are they have what's called wade mode. They're designed to drive through shallow water. But then the definition is, what exactly is shallow water? So this guy drove this thing into a lake, and it did fine, kind of close to the shore. But once you get past like 3 feet of water, it's not a boat. So it sank. I mean, what is going on here? I mean, this is just like comedy. It's like, this is the stupidest shit ever. You know? I don't know. I'm just like, there we go, 17 minutes of crap. So, like I said, Alejandro Martinez Ariza is coming up. My God, I spent 2 days trying to pronounce his name. I finally got it. He's coming up right after this, and we're on TikTok tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be going on for. There's some things we're trying to accomplish, and we can accomplish them by doing a lot of these. And also, I got to admit, I'm kind of starting to enjoy it. People, for our very first show on Monday night, we had 485 likes. That surprised the crap out of me. Not quite so many last night. I think it's because we did it later. We went on at 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and 10:30 p.m. last night. So tonight we're doing 10 o'clock. And we might try screwing the time around and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, please join us. My handle is Jim at Night. That's my handle on all these services. And that's my handle on TikTok, of course, too. So if you stay tuned here, we're gonna be back with Alejandro Martinez Ariza in just a second. Stay tuned, everybody.